My name is Katie MacGregor and I'm production designer for film and television. Well, don't waste time, give me design, tell me how you want to roll. Production designer, which is the head of the art department, will come on board, discussing the vision with the director and the cinematographer. Cinematographer or the camera person and the designer tend to work very closely. The person behind the camera isn't interested about anything around that frame. They're just interested in that frame. Similarly to an art director or a production designer who's only interested in trying to make good what we're seeing on camera, because there's absolutely no point to spending any time or effort into seeing or to making beautiful what we're not going to see. You can really focus all your time and attention to just what's being seen, which means a lot of things can be faked or falsified through building sets. A lot of people need things to be done in 3 dimensions, and sometimes it's too complicated to do that all with building it up in 3D in a computer, because it's just too time consuming. So the quickest way, and what would probably have taken an hour, is to create that studio plan in a white card model. So you could get everybody around a table. That would be the cinematographer, the director, the producer, Justin Timberlake, and they go, oh, you know what, I think this should be a little bit over there because the camera will fit in better, or I've got this crew of 20 people, can you move the whole set over? And those are the type of discussions that are really good to have around something that's really easy to move. Everybody then has an understanding. It's a lot easier when it's in 3 dimensions. I got into production design after a few years working in feature films in Toronto as an assistant art director, drafting sets for films. I traveled to the UK and studied at the National Film and Television School, received a master's in production design, and further worked in the UK as an art director and sometimes production designer. Production design wasn't what I always thought I wanted to do. In fact, I knew very little about it until I began as a runner in an art department on a feature film in Toronto, and that completely opened my eyes up to the amazing possibilities with set design. Favorite films that I worked on were, one of them was K-19, The Widowmaker. It was one of the first films I'd worked on. The art department was responsible for building a 350-foot-long submarine in 10 sections. I was most fascinated with the way these compartments were fit together and then individually separated, put on a gimbal for movement up high up in the stage, and then put back down for the sort of longer shot. So it was more the process of how that set was comprised that made that a particularly interesting film. The best part of my job is definitely working with people, collaborating, trying to make things work, problem solving. I've always said the more constraints, the better. I think some of the proudest moments I've had is where I've been to cast and crew screenings of films, when everybody's seeing the film for the first time and they get to share in sort of reliving some of the moments, or tragically seeing how bad it all went, however it is. You know, the goods and the bads. I think that's those shared sort of viewing experiences for the first time are some of the best times. My best advice for young people would be to get involved in maybe even creating their own films and shadowing professional filmmakers, seeing how they do it, being able to observe the different departments of a film crew and maybe seeing if one of them works with you.